Yeah. So last week we discussed about the structure of the Excel and what are the components of this interface, right? And what is the name box and what is the formula box, and how the columns are being named and how the rows are being named, right? How many columns are there, how many rows are there, and what are the shortcuts that we can navigate through the Excel sheet, right? And some of the components as well, right? So, and again, we discussed we can, like we are able to insert several different uh, components, or like the several different data into a Excel sheet, which we call the labels. Labels are like just text, so the text and numbers mixed up, right? Which happens in the left alignment manner, and the values, which consist the numbers, floating point numbers, dates, and all these things, right? Where you can see it as a right alignment part, right? uh, and the formulas, the things which are starting from equal sign, right? So I told you there are two types of formulas, which are called the equations and the functions, right? And we discuss about how how a formula can be formed by starting from an equal sign and using the mathematical operators to represent the things that we need with the concrete values, or we can use it with the cell references as well. So if I need to add 123 and 34 in B1 and B2, I can just type in B1 plus B2. So those two cells will get highlighted and will be referred from C2 cell. So once I press enter, I will be seeing the answer, not the formula that I have written inside the cell, right? So, and later we talked about how the operators, arithmetic operators, are effects on the Excel sheet and the precedence of those, right? So we discuss, we use plus sign for the addition, we use minus sign for the multiplication, we use star for the we use star to the multiplication, minus for the subtraction, and slash, the forward slash or the backslash, right? So hold on. This indicates the division, and this particular sign is indicate the exponential, right? Or the power, right? So there was a precedence in between these operators, right? Who is going to be considered on the very first, then who is the next. So the precedence was, if you got brackets in your formula, that's going to be considered as number one priority, then the exponential, then the divisions will be, division and the multiplication will be considered. And very finally, it's going to be the addition and subtraction, which are going to be considered. So very top priority will be there for the brackets, and exponential, then, right? So like actually this should be the second priority, and multiplication and division is going to be the third priorities. Addition and subtraction is going to be the fourth priority. So when multiplication and division is there, they are considered as equally, so you can go for any of them as per your preference. And when it comes to the plus and minus, again, you can go for any operator first as per your preference. So and we have done some simple simple calculations, and we discuss how those things are happened as well. So as I remember, we stopped from the place where we about to talk uh, about the formulas which are used in the cell references. Yeah, and again we have done the example 2 in 203rd page as well. So we rather work with the cell references as well. So you know now how the things are going to happen with these cell references, right? So yeah, so let's practice one more question before we move into the next section, right? Okay, so so far people, is there anything else that you need to make clear before I go for the question, right? I'm just asking, just if you got anything to be get clear, just let me know, right? Uh, yeah, I'm taking a new sheet. So we are going to take a new sheet using this plus sign, and I'm pressing plus and I'm receiving a new sheet. I'm maximizing the area so you can see it clearly. Yeah, so yeah, this is going to be a little bit advanced though. So let's go through this clearly, right? So in the very first cell, I'm going to say I'm going to calculate the area of a rectangle, right? And to do that, I need the length and I need the width of the rectangle. And at the second place, I'm going to calculate area of a triangle. Right, then, yeah, I need the length and yeah, we need the X factor. People just give me a second. All right, so this is going to be, this is considered as base and the height, right? So yeah, so if I remind you how the calculation of a triangle is done. So if you consider the very bottom, the line as the base, so you are going to multiply this base uh, with what? With the height. Height means it should drawn with a 90% angle, right? අපි ලම්බකයක් කියලා කියනවා, right? Right. So that particular orange line should be multiplied with the width of this base, this particular base, right? So let me mention it as well. Yeah. So this is what you call the base, right? And and base is going to multiply by the height, and again you need you have to multiply it by 0.5 or like 1/2 to have the area, right? අපි කතා කරන්නේ ආධාරකයේ වැඩි කිරීම ලම්බ උස, base into height into half, right? Or 0.5 to multiply to calculate the area of a triangle, right? So rectangle, you know how those things can be happened, right? So let me take these two up here. Yeah. Okay, so I need the area of the rectangle to this particular place, which I'm going to highlight from the light blue color, right? An area of a triangle to here, which I'm going to highlight from the light orange color, right? So your base value will be here, height is here, length is here, and width is here. Yeah. Yes, Avinash, that's what we are going to do, Avinash. So whatever the values that you are going to put here, you have to write the formula to these two positions to calculate the area of the rectangle and the area of the triangle. All right, now if I say the length is 10 centimeters and the width is in 5 centimeters, you have to calculate what is the area of that rectangle, and you need me to type the equation into the chat, what it should give the answer in B1, right? B1 ke answer ka enna, what should be the formula inside it, right? Okay, so type it down. You have to refer the cell references, right? Not the values. Yes, Onetra, that is correct. It should be length into width, right? So it's going to be B2 into B3. Yes, that's correct. Dulagi and Saran, that is correct. Yes. How about the others? So if I type equals B2 into B3, will give me the, yeah, will give us the answer of the area of the rectangle. Then how about the triangle? Let's say I'm going to say the base is 9 and height is 12. What's going to be my yes on it? Brilliant. So like B6 into B7 into half, as Onitra says, and 7, your one is also correct. B6 into B7 divided by 2. Yes. So I'm going to use both the things. Yes, Minol. That is also going to work. Let's see all three things, right? So I'm going to, first I'm going to type what Onitra types. So it's 1/2 into B6 into B7, right? Let's see what we are going to receive. So it's 54. And I'm going to type what Seren has sent us. So Seren is saying something like this, right? Equals B6 multiplied by, sorry, B7, and later he has divided by 2. The very same answer is there, right? And right over here, I'm going to type what Minul has sent us. So he's saying 1/2 and within brackets B6 multiplied by B7. Yeah, in that case, Minul, we are having a message saying you should put a star mark in between the 2 and the bracket, right? So they're asking it should get corrected, whether we are accepting the corrected. So let's accept it and see. Yeah, so it will give the very same thing. So let me show you the formulas inside this. So like yeah, so these are the formulas that we have used. Yeah, someone has sent a message to me. Let me see that. Yeah, yes, we know bracket is multiplication according to the mathematics, but when it comes to the Excel, they may have some constraints as well, right? Because Excel will not take that it has a multiplication. We have to explicitly say there should be a star in between, right? So all three formats are correct, right? You can see the difference, right? So that is a clue that you can write a formula in many different ways, so to acquire the very same answer. Okay, so people, so that is the way that you are going to perform or like write a formula using the cell references. So later you will be finding some exercises to do so, right? So we'll see when the time comes. Right, so today I'm going to move into the use of functions to do the calculations, right? So if you got your textbooks with you, just turn to the page number 205, right? Which is introducing you some functions, right? So let me take the textbook as well. Yeah, there you go. Seran, yeah, we are talking about this particular page, and I'll tell you what's the difference between a formula and a function, right? So like we basically refer both equations and functions are formulas, right? But when it comes to the function, we basically we differ the functions and the equations, or in other words, they are referring to formulas sometimes, but very specifically, function is having a name. Function eකට නමක් තියෙනවා, right? Both function and equations or formulas are starting with the equal sign. So that is the similarity between the functions and formulas. But formula does not have any type of name, but the function does, right? So if you refer to this table, this particular table, there are 5 types of functions that they have introduced to you, which call sum, average, max, mean, and count, right? So the very same name can be used to when we are illustrating the functions. So you are starting like equal sum, and you're starting like equal average, equal max, equal mean, equal count. And for a function, you can see there are specific parentheses, two brackets are there to limit or to show you the limitation of the function. So inside between those brackets, we are going to define what are the components that is going to be formulated or functionalized from this particular function. The function එකට සම්බන්ධ වෙන්න ඕන අය කවුද කියන එක තමයි අපි brackets ඇතුලේ ලියන්නේ. Right? So generally these functions will do the very same idea which is given by its name. Sum is there to add some numbers together. Right? Average is there to calculate the average of some numbers or values. Right? And max is there to decide what is the maximum value out of number series or value series. And min, again finding you the minimum number out of value series. And count, which is a little bit not a strange, a little bit different formula. Right? It counts the numbers of cells within the range of cells, but later you can see the counting will happen where you got the values inside it, right? Not the text inside it, right? We are going to go through about these 5 functions today, right? All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to illustrate the things, how the things are going to happen with these functions now. Just a second, people. Right. Okay, let me take the Excel sheet, right? Let me take a new sheet as well. So this is for the functions and formulas. And before I begin, I may write some number series, right? So like this. Yeah. So as we know so far, if we need to have if we need to have the sum of all these numbers, so far we know to write a formula something like this. So we can write it like equals A1 plus A2 plus A3 plus B1 plus B2 plus B3, right? So all 6 things are being highlighted. So if I say, it's going to give me 210. But we can do this very short manner by using the sum function. Yeah, so like yes, Aaron, that's correct. So from sum function, what we are going to do is we are going to put the equal sign and we type sum. And when you are typing sum, you can see there are many different formulas that is being listed down on your Excel sheet. So like when it comes to the Excel, there are hundreds of formulas inside it which are predefined, where we can use it for many different various kind of things, right? So here in our syllabus we already talked about 6 of them. There are like hundreds of formulas inside it. So these are one of those. So when you say sum, the sum function will be there, and you start it with a bracket, and later inside it you can see the number 1 comma number 2, likewise we have to give. So here we can type the cell references in many different ways. Either we can type it the cell addresses by separating a comma, like A1 comma A2 comma A3 comma B1 comma B2 comma B3, right? So likewise you can type it. Sorry, I think I have this type of thing. Hold on. This is going to be B and this is going to be B. So if I say press enter, so the same answer is going to be there. And again, I can write the sum in another way, like equal sum So far we know how to give a range, so we can give the range at once. So what would be the range? It is starting from A1 column and ending with B3 column, right? So like A1 colon B3. So it just highlight the area or like the range that we have selected. And you can simply close the bracket and press enter. Still you are getting 210, right? Yeah, I think I got some message from someone. Yes, Minu. Yes. Right. And if you need, you can mix these two things together. Like in this formula, let me show you the formula first. Right. Now, it's better you concentrate on this. In this formula, we have written the cell addresses separately, separated by comma. And here we have written the cell addresses as a range. And if you want, you can mix these two things up, right? So like mixing these two things up means you can write the same formula, or like you can refer the same range, something like this, like sum. I can say sum the things from A1 colon A3. That's a one particular range. And I can put a comma and I can say B1 colon B3. That's the other range. So on this example, since these data are adjacent together, there is not a particular requirement to write it like this. But when your things are spreaded over the spreadsheet, මේ values ටික තැන තැන නම් තියෙන්නේ. හිතන්නකො අපි A column එකේ C column එකේ මේ values ටික තිබුණා කියලා. So this is a good way of writing it, right? Even you can say you start the range from A1 to C3, but that will add you the things, or add you the empty cells which is in the B column, right? අපි A වල values ටික දාලා C වල values ටික දාලා මේ විදිහටම A1 colon C3 කියලා කිව්වොත් අර B column එකේ මුකුත් නැති ටිකත් අපේ range එකට add වෙන්න පුළුවන්. And later if someone got a number inside it, our valuation will get, or like our summation will get wrong. On those cases, we can exactly give the things, how like exactly choose the values which we need to get the summation, right? Okay, so you can use all these variations, and here's another variation. We can say sum, we can open the brackets, and I can say A1 colon A3 comma B1 comma B2 comma B3, right? So everything will going to give you the very same answer, right? See, everywhere you are going to have 210, right? So that is the way you are going to have sum on a Excel sheet, so you will be able to see it accordingly, right? Okay, people, are you clear with this? Just let me know your confirmation. Right, great. Now be careful, people. In your examination, there are various type of questions which is asking the references in this manner, right? In most of the cases, they will give you a range and will ask what is the correct cell references, or what is the correct function to calculate the sum of these cells. Then they can give several different options, and they may ask option A is correct, option A only is the correct one, option A and B is the correct one, so likewise. So you have to see what are the options which give the same answer as per the question, right? Okay, so In the very same manner, in every other function, that means in the average, in the max, in the min, in the count, we can use the very same range or like very same pattern like this that we are going to give for the references of the cell, right? So cell range දෙන එක, cell references දෙන එක හැම තැනකම ওই විදිහට දෙන්න පුළුවන්. You only change the function name according to your purpose, right? Okay, so I'm going to find the average and I'm going to show you how to calculate the max, min and count and all these things, right? So you can see how these things are going to happen now. So I'm going to shift back to the formula not showing base. So this is going to be the addition, right? And here I'm going to calculate the average. So how I'm going to calculate the average? I'm going to say equal average. So average is there, right? And I'm going to give the cell ranges. So when you are giving these cell ranges without typing it, you can just move your mouse pointer and click and select what are the cell range, what is the cell range that you need to take the average, right? So for average, I'm just taking these three cells from A1 to A3. So you can see the average is going to be 10 plus 20 is 30, 30 plus 30 is 60. So average is going to be 60 divided by 2. That means 20, right? Let's see whether that particular average is going to come. Yeah, so 20 is being calculated. So that is the average of first three cells of the A column, right? So if I need to take the average of all six columns, which is from A1 to A3 and B1 to B3, all I need to do is to change this formula to A1 colon B3. So which will give me 35 as its average, right? And I'm going to find the maximum of B column, right? So as you can recognize, the maximum of B column is 60. So let's say whether the correct answer is going to come, the max. So I'm going to give the cell range. I'm going to put a bracket and press enter. So it is giving me the 60. So here I'm going to calculate the minimum of A column, right? So I can say equal min. I'm going to refer the range from A1 to A3 because we are calculating the minimum number of A columns. So it should be the 10. So yes, 10 is there. Yeah, and before I move to the count, I'm going to put some words in here, like text in here, A, B, C, E, F, G, H, I, J in here, right? So I'm going to calculate the count right over here, right? So I'm going to take the count by giving the cell range from A1 to C3, right? Let's see what is going to happen. So I'm pressing equal, so I'm count, I'm giving the range from A1 to C3, so I'm closing my brackets and I'm pressing enter. So as you can recognize, my count gives me 7, the 6. And if you change this particular text into a number, let's say I'm going to make it as 78 and press enter, your count differs, right? And if I change this ABC into 99, your count differs. So that's why I told you count function will count only the values within the given range. That's an important thing, right? So you have to remember. You can easily be deceived in your MCQ paper by giving some values and text together, and when you are asked a question using the count function. So you have to remember that count function is just counting only the values, right? Uh, values in the sense, if I change this 99 into a date, let's see whether it is going to be count as well, right? So I'm going to change it like this. So it's the 7th of August. Still, my count is 8. So it's only the text which are not being counted, right? So if you got a value inside it, it's going to have the it's going to be a part of the count. And instead of a text, if I input a function, a formula in here, like let's say equals 3 plus 5. So it is a function, and my count is going to increase as 9 because the result is taking or making a value, not a text. Yeah, I received a chat. Let me see. Yeah. If date is 38/2020, yeah. Meanwhile, Excel is having a very strange way of having the date, right? Because it should be on the date format, right? Yes, Avinash, I'm going to explain it again to you. Doesn't matter. Hold on. So let me check what Minol says. Yeah, Minol, as you say, if you are going to type it like this, 30/8/2020, right? See your count is 8, right? So what is happening here, Minul, is now this particular thing is not being considered as a date, because according to the Microsoft, the month should be at the beginning and the date is going to be the second component and the year is going to be the third component. So as we write it, the date is going to be the first component and the month is going to be the second component. It will not recognize it as a date unless we have set it, or like unless we have customized this cell. This is going to be a date like this. Most probably it will be there, Minul. Let me check it. Let me type 8/30. See, it's the August, and let's say 8/30/2020. Still, it is taken as 9, but the appearance is differs. Seren, yeah. It differs with the space bar, Seren. I'll tell you why, because this is a formatting type of a thing. Formatting is ඉස්සරහට කතා කරනවා. Then I have the content of the cell is somewhere here. See, look at the formula bar. So formula bar is representing you the thing that you have written. It is 8/30/2020. But what is appearing here, 30-August, it is because of the formatting, right? So we are going to talk, Minul, the date that you are talking about is going to count as a date, because if you write it in 6/7/2020, it's going to be the 7th of July 2020. If you write it as 7/6/2020, it's going to be the 6th of July 2020, right? Those will be taken. ඉස්සරහ වෙන component එක, if it is bigger than the 12, then only it's going to be not considered as a date, right? the Excel can't recognize that. Excel only take the things up to 12 as the very first component. Right? Month first component. So up to 12, it's okay. If you put 13, it's going to be a bad one. But again, we can change it, right, by giving a custom format. But we have to change it on that manner. Otherwise, it won't get recognized as a value. Right. Minol, I think that's clear to you. And Avinash, about your question, so you asked me to explain the count function again. So like count function, this is the function that I have wrote as the count, right? Let me show you the things. Right, so what we have said was, we have said count the things from A1 to C3. So if you look into A1 to C3, so there are things. Now this 44,073 is a date format, right? And you can see all the numbers inside here. So it counts number of values, not the texts, right? Text එකක් තිබ්බොත් එයා ඒක value එකක් කියලා අරගන්න නෑ අවිනාශ්, right? So that is why the final answer of the count is taken as 9. 9 කියලා අරගෙන තියෙන්නේ, right? So because these three things are numbers, values type, these three things are values type, and this is a date, again it is a value type. And this is 8 and 78, again the values. So that is why it is being taken as 9. Now if I change this 8 into ABC, my count is going to change as 8. Yes. Yeah, Omar, if we need to count text, I think there should be a way of counting text. Let's see. There is something called count if as well. Count blank, count ifs, yeah. Now there are like many different counting types in here. Count, count A, count blank, count if, count ifs. So we can give some conditions to do so, right? In count A it says count the number of cells in a range that are not empty. So I think you can have your answer from that. Now count A, the function count A, which is not in your syllabus, right? Count A will count the things if that cell consists something inside it. But if you really need to count only the text, then you have to go for something like count if. Then you have to say, you have to define how it's going to be, right? Which will be a little bit a complex one. But still you can do the things, right? So you just type it in the internet and see how to count the cells which are containing text. So they will give you the suggestions, right? So for the moment, I'm not going to go for that because I have to cover up the things for you people, right? So there are many different ways, right? And we can do very nice and very complex calculations through this Excel. If you really think about it, I have done those things. I'll show you some things in here, right? So it's up to your creativity and for your requirement, right? Okay, so Minol, currency, it's going to calculate, it's going to count currency as well, I think, right? Let me format one as a currency. We are going to talk about these formats as well. Yeah, that doesn't matter. If you format it as a currency, still the count is 8. Right. Okay, people. So good that you guys are asking the questions. So it's you can take those things clearly into your mind then. Right. So people, I think you got a clear idea about how to use these functions. So there are 5 functions together. So always remember, function always has a name and start from the equal sign as the formulas, and function is having a name. equations or formulas are not having a name, right? And for a function, there is brackets for any particular function. So you have to say what to be done within that brackets, right? What to be done means the references within those brackets, right? Okay, so yes, people, do you got any problems or any questions regarding that? Otherwise, we can try the activity uh, in the page number 210. Not actually 209. Yeah, 209. Right. Okay, people. So I need you to turn your textbook into the page number 209, and you have to type me the answers for that particular question, right? Okay, so now it's your time. Just turn to that page and see and type in the answers, right? So I will show you the question as well. I'm talking about this particular question, right? So you can type in. Yeah, sure, Minul. Yes, Anetra. Yes, Dua. The first one is correct. B2 plus, C2 plus, D2, which is correct. Good. Banu Somaratna is having uh, the total marks of it. That's correct. Yeah, Minul, your one is also correct. Seran, yours is also correct.
So they asked the formula only, right?
And people, since your question says at the very beginning, provide answers using functions. So it's better you say, better you calculate the things using functions, which has a name, right? Other than the equations. Dulagi, your answer is correct too. Yes, Minol, the second one is correct. Equal average. Seran, your answer is wrong because there is nothing called AVG. It's the average. The full name should be there, right? Should be B3 colon D3, right? Good. Yeah, Senora, it's better you write it using the functions, Puta. Equal sum කියලා දාලා without using the cell addresses. So because they have said it's better you write it using the functions, right? For third, yes, Minul, your answer is correct. Onetra, your one is also correct regarding the average. Dulagi, your second one is also correct, right? And yes, Minul, your third one is correct, as well as the fourth one. Let me see, it's from X B2 to B7. Yes. Yeah, yes, correct, correct. So regarding the count, that is also correct, Minul. C2 to C7. Yeah, Minul, your fifth answer is also correct. Onetra, your answer is correct regarding the max function. So equal max, B2 colon B7. Count is also correct. Tulagi, your one is also correct. Good. Yes, Onetra, your count is also correct. C2 colon C7. It is correct, yes. Yes, Saran, regarding the min, it is correct. You shouldn't put two equal marks. I think that's a mistake. Okay, just type in, okay. Sinura, yes, your average one is correct, Puta. Well done. Dulagi, yes, your fifth answer, as well as Onetra, both of you are correct. Min D2 colon D7. So it is asking the lowest score. So we need to use the minimum, the function which gives you the minimum number, right? All right. How about others? Like there are 10 people in the room. Minura, yes, your one is correct. Sandhil, I think you are getting this. And Sanduni. Just let me know if you got anything not clear with me. Okay. Oh, okay. Keywords gonna be there. Yes, right. Okay, people. So, right. Okay, Sandhuni Vihansa. Right, Dua. I hope you can take it clearly. If you got anything not understanding, so let's see what we can do. And Ovin, I think you are getting the lesson. Just see whether is it clear from my side, right? Okay. All right, people. Let's move forward then. Most of you have answered the question, so good. Sinura, your answer is correct regarding the very first one, right? All right, so I'm moving forward. So the next part is about formatting the worksheet, right? So now formatting means this is something very similar to the formattings which you have done in your word processing software, right? So if you refers to your if you refers to the page number 210, you can see it's the very same type of tools that you are going to use inside this spreadsheet as well, right? Minol, I think your external chats are being chat inside here. Please don't do that. Right, so in page number 210, you are given the clarification about the tools, right? So as we know, the font size and all these things, it was there on the spreadsheet software as well. So let me quickly go through that, right? How it's going to happen. Right, so yeah. So let me have my institute name so we can format that. So yes, now this, you can change the font size from here, font type from here, according to your preference, right? And if you spell the word, so you can change the column width as we discussed last time, right? So you can italic this, underline it, and you can change the underline pattern here, all right? So likewise, so and you can give the cell color to the background of the cell using this particular paint bucket, and you can change the font color as well by using this capital A, and you can change the font size from this particular list, right? Or else you can just type in the things and press enter to have a bigger letters or bigger fonts, right? And you can decrease the font size and increase the font size by using these two things, as we done it in the spreadsheet software. So if you press this, it will get decreased. If you press this, then it's going to increase the font size. And regarding the alignment, hold on, get it in chat. Yeah, Ovin, it's like limit is going to be, I really haven't checked about that thing, but if you increase the font size, this particular font size, let's say, is this 72. Like if you want, we can type 100 size. No, in Excel, I think they have limited it for yeah. So I think it's the 72 for Excel, Ovin. Yeah. Yeah, it's not go further than that. But in Word, we could have print the values like 100. Ah, no, here. No. Still, we can go for some bigger fonts, even in here. If I say 500. Yes, here it says font size must be between 1 and 409 points. So the very biggest font size is 409. You can't go larger than 409. All right. So like if you want, you can type 409 in here. That is the 409th size. Actually, we can't see it. It's pretty big, I guess. So if you put 100 again, it will come to the 100 and we can reduce it as per our need. All right, and Saran, the question that you had, when the letters are being picked, it's not spill into the other cell, right? It's still in the column A. or like the A1 cell, the only thing is we can change the size of the column to see, to check whether it is inside only A. Maybe so it's not being continued to the B cell. If we change the size of the column, so you can see it is inside only column A, right? Okay, so this is how the changes can be happen to a text inside the Excel. And there is another thing when it comes to the what we call the alignment part. Let me first reduce the size of this word. So what you can do is you can do the alignment to this particular thing, right? Like center align, like right align. So you can do the horizontal aligning, as well as you can do the vertical aligning as well. So like if I change the height of this cell, it will create the places like top, middle, and bottom. So now here it is at the bottom. I can take it to the middle, and I can take it to the top. So these are called the vertical alignments, right? So these are called the horizontal alignments, and these three things are called the vertical alignments. So if you really need to make it to the center of the cell, so it's going to be like this. Should be in the middle in the vertical alignment and should be in the center from horizontal alignment. And you can change the direction of the letters inside a cell. And again, this particular cell should be something a little bit bigger to handle these things, right? So if you click on this arrowhead, it will show you the orientation, right? So it says angle counterclockwise, angle clockwise, vertical text, rotate text up, and all these things. So if I say angle clockwise, it's going to be like this. And if I change it into this manner, it's going to be the angle clockwise on that manner. Vertical text, it gives you like the letters one after the other. And if you say rotate text up, so the horizontal text will entirely get rotated into the upward. And you can rotate the text down as well. So it's like that. And why we need these things, when it comes to the Excel, there will be places where you are creating a tables, a huge number of columns inside that table will be there inside the table. And those particular columns may take a bigger header, but the component which is used into it is very smaller compared to the header. So අපිට header එක විතරක් නිසා පොලේ ලොකු ඉලක් නාස්ති කරගන්නේ නැති වෙන්න we can use this particular facility, right? We can change it and we can resize the column size and we can type the things, right? So likewise you can manage it, right? So it's a good point, and we practically use those things when we are creating the registries, when we are creating mark sheets and all these things. We simply use this, right? Okay, so let's see what are the other things that it is given in your textbook. Font we talk about, font size we talk about, vertical alignments we talk about, orientation we talk about, number formats, it's there to be taught. And bold, italic, underline, left alignment, center alignment, right alignment, we talked about. Increase decimal places, we have to discuss about it. Decrease decimal places, yes. So like we are left with three options, which is the number formats, increase decimal places, and decrease decimal places. So like when it comes to the number formats, let me see whether, yeah, there are many different ways of doing it. Even in your book it says. Yeah, so like from page number 212 onwards, actually 211, no, 212 onwards, They are talking about several different formattings. So I'm not going to talk about formattings and on there because it is the next thing that we need to discuss. I'll show you the increase in and decrease in decimal places while we are like talking about these formats. Okay, people, can I have the confirmation whether it is clear so far? Right. Okay, thank you very much. All right, here we go. So from page number 212 onwards, in page number 211, they are discussing about the formatting toolbar of the LibreOffice Calc, which is the free and open source software. You can see most of the facilities are there, but not much as the Excel, right? It is having 15 different things, and this is just 10 different things that they are talking about, but everything, almost everything is there, all right? Okay, so the use of dialog boxes to format values, right? So I'll show you how these things can be done. So to do the formattings, what we can use is the place which is called the, or the group which called the number, right? Yeah, before I move to the number, let me introduce you these two things as well. This is important though, all right? Let me change the, yeah. So, yeah, I'm having this Star Labs word inside this particular cell. Now let's say I need to maintain this cell with this particular width. Now the one option that we are having is we can rotate the word as we can see, and the other option that we can have is we can wrap the text according to the cell space, right? So what we have to do is simply just select the L1 cell, and you can use this wrap text option. If you press on it, you can see it is all automatically wrapped around it, like when the size of the column is being decreased, it will get adjusted according to the content, right? So this is called the wrap text. This is another way of saving the unwanted space inside a spreadsheet, right? And this particular merge and center thing, that is something we can do for these cells. Like if we need to have these all these 4 cells together, I can select these 4 cells and I can click on this arrowhead. There are many different options. By default, it's merge and center is being selected. I can do merge across, merge cells, and unmerge cells. So unmerging means the reverse process. So if I go from the bottom, so if I press merge cells, all these four cells are now being considered as one particular, one single cell, right? So if I type anything there, it will be considered as a merge cell. There is no splitting things out, right? And once I select this merge cell, look at my name box. It says C1. So that means the very first cell address will be referred to the place or like will be referred as the merge cells cell address, right? And if I need to get this into the previous stage or like the unmerged version, so what I can do is I can just select the merge cells and select unmerged cells. So it will become as the previous state, right? And if I choose this, and if I say merge and center, so it will automatically merge the things. So if you got contents inside these D, E, and F, those contents will get erased because the very first content, or like the very left most corner cells content will only be saved when the merging is happened. So I'll illustrate it to you. I'm saying hello everyone in C, and I'm saying bye bye in B, and I'll say okay in E. So now if I'm going to merge these three cells together, once I'm going to merge it, it gives you a message. Merging cells only keeps the upper left value and discard other values, right? So the upper left value means in our selection, it is the leftmost cell. Cells keep horizontally and vertically. They came upper left value will be saved. All other will get disappeared. So it is asking the confirmation from us. So if I say okay, so hello everyone will get remain, others will get deleted, right? And there is another facility called merge across, which is a very useful one. Like if you need to merge the cells along the columns, like in the manner of row by row, merge right now. If I select these 3 rows, and if I just click merge and center, all 9 cells will get merged. No rows are there, just the merge cell. And if I choose merge across, it will just merge the things along the row, not the entire thing. Right? So you can select it easily, or like merge it easily when you need to do a row by row merge on your Excel sheet, right? Okay, those two things are some extras, but it's better you get to know about it. Okay, now we are moving to the formatting part of these values, right? Actually, the number formats, not everything, the number format, because while we are learning number formats in here, in an Excel, there are several different places where we have to use the dates, the currencies, the pure numbers or floating numbers, and all these things. So Excel is given the ability to write that kind of, or to format the value into that type of data using its number formats, right? Okay, so let me quickly have some values in here. Let me take a new sheet. That will be much convenient. Yeah, now I'll put 120 in my cell A1. I'm going to increase the size for you to see it clearly. So once I select this 120, the number format will select the format type automatically, like a general. So, and other than that, there are many different number formats inside here. As you can see, number is there, currency is there, accounting is there, short date, long date, time, percentage, fraction, right? And scientific, text, and all these things are there. And if you want more number formats, you can go for this option as well. So which will give you the number format window as it's shown in your book, right? So you can define or choose a much better way to represent your value on the Excel sheet, right? Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm selecting this 120 and I'm changing this into a number, right? Now look carefully what is going to happen, right? Now this number format is given. See, it's automatically take 2 decimal points. So in case if I change the value, let's say I'm going to type 8, 85, once I press enter, it will automatically uh, formatted into that particular number format, which is given by that particular dialog box. So if you really need to apply this particular thing, or like this particular formatting into others, only thing that you need to do is just select the area and apply the values. Now, if I need to format the area of A1 to B2, so I just select that area and I'm just selecting number. And now if I say 70 in here, it's going to be formatted as 85. But to C3, we haven't done any formatting. So if I put 56, it's just 56. Not any format is given or like applied. Right. So that is regarding the number format and the currency. Now, when you press currency, there are by default symbols for currencies like dollars, euros, yen, and all these things will be there. So like those, what you call the hot topic items will be there within different types of currency formats, right? Like if you take a discount kind of a thing, if they need, if the boutique people need to sell it with a very big gap, they will just show it. Previously it was this much of amount and now it is this much of amount, right? So on those cases you may need the currency value as well. But when it comes to the Sri Lanka, dollar is not the currency value that we are using. We need rupees or ruakura. We may need that to represent the symbol, right? Yeah, let me, yeah, and again, LKR. Yeah, so like if we need to have our currency format into this particular place, we can go for number formats, right? So how we are going to do that is you select the specific cell that you need and you just go to this number group, and at the bottom right corner there is something called dialog box launcher. Right? So once you move your mouse into that particular point, this dialog box launcher will show you what it is, and once you click it, you will be given the format cells window. So from that, you have to, there are many different kinds of tabs in there. So from those tabs, you have to find the number tab. And under the number tab, there are many different categories. So you have to find the currency category, right? So under the currency category, it says how many decimal places that you are going to show. So if you increase it, the decimal places will get increased. And then it asks what should be the symbol. So if you take the symbols, there are many different types of symbols in here. So let's see whether Sri Lanka is here. It's a very big list. Oh yes, here the rupiah symbol. So I can select it and I can press OK. So mine is changed into something like this, right? And you can give the very same currency format into the other cells as well using this format painter option, right? This is the format painter option. So if you select this, and first you have to take the format, copy it to your clipboard, then what you have to do is you just click it and spread. So everything else will be affected from that particular format. Right, so now I have format these cells from A2 to A5. Now if I type something in there, 78, it will automatically change into the way it was pre-formatted. Right, people, is this clear to you? Let me have the confirmation. Right. Okay. Yeah, Minol, customizing is the thing that we are doing now. All right. So we are customizing the cell. Right. Okay. So let's move to another number format. Utara, just give me a second. Yes. Amiga, what the type of thing? I'm going to show you things. Huh? Okay. Okay. Bye bye. Yeah, with colors, yes, Mino. So it's pretty easy. Like you can change it from this one. No, mandun. Ovin count A works on single fonts. I have to check that, Puta. I haven't checked it. Just check it and see, Puta. I think it should, because every like when it the numbers is the only things that is been counted as values, right? I think single fonts also been uh, taken as the characters, right? Right. Right. So we have talked about the currency format, and yeah, and then and there I'll show you how to increase the decimal places of a floating point number, right? So which means the things which are having in here, sorry, in here in the number group, right? So you can see in the number group, you can see several different currency symbols, right? Which are like very common to be used, right? And some percentage comma marks are there. So we'll see what's going to be happen from those two. And for the moment, I'm going to take these two things. So which means increase the decimals and decrease the decimals. So first of all, we have to select the components which we need to increase the decimals. So we can increase it by clicking this. So you can see number of zeros getting increased when once you click the increase decimal. Now when it comes to a currency, this won't affect us very much, but when it comes to the floating point numbers, right, or the fractional numbers, that will be very much helpful for us to do the increase in and the decrease in of the decimal. So the opposite side tool will decrease the decimal points and will illustrate it on this manner, right? So that is regarding increasing and decreasing decimal points, right? Okay, so let's see what else is there. So we have talked about the number formats, just one number format, right? So it's regarding the decimal places. So yeah, here formatting range of cells to be seen as labels. So like previously we learned there are two types of things. Hold on, I'm getting a question. This one? Yes. Yeah, Ovin is asking the current is having cryptocurrencies. What do you mean by cryptocurrencies, Ovin? I'm not having the idea about cryptocurrencies. It's like which is being like encrypted kind of a thing. I really don't have the idea about cryptocurrencies, Ovin. Ah, right. Okay. So you means like the bitcoins and all these things. Ah, right. Yeah. I don't think so. I don't think so. BTC, no. Bitcoins are like it is something related to the online world, Ovin. I don't think that can be considered as a Excel type of a thing, right? Not according to my knowledge. Right. So in page number 213, you are given the value, or you are given the way of formatting the cells as to be seen as labels. So I think I have seen this, shown this to you before as well. So we know, like when it comes to the values, it's already right aligned. And when you are typing something, so if you got a label, it's going to be left aligned. So if I need these things to be seen as labels, not as values, so what we can do is we can select it, and we can go to the number formats, and at the very below, there is something called text. So if you choose that, you can see those things as labels, but on that point, you should be able to have this concentration. The formattings regarding the currencies and all these things will get lost, right? So it will just become something like a label. So those things will be very much helpful, like as per the example which is shown in your side, right? So like showing the what the contact numbers and all these things, right? Okay, so yeah, currency and accounting are little bit same, Ovin, but there are differences. Like when you select the accounting part, you can go for like more than like 3 to 5 decimal points, right? But when it comes to the currency, it is strictly with the currency symbol and 2 decimal points, right? Other than that, those are going on the very same pattern, right? So that is how some customization. So like the number formattings are applied in here. So people now, since it is 503, yeah. So yes, Minul, what you're asking is. Yeah. Yes, Minul. There are specific tables, right? So like where you can use those things for the calculation and some statistics scenarios, which we are not going to discuss along our syllabus, right? And yes, as you say, we can use those things. So people, I'm going to end the session from this point for today, right? So we are going to discuss more number formats by next week, and hopefully we will be able to finish up the lesson by next week as well. It's only the absolute self-reference part is left over. We'll try our best to finish up the lessons by next week, but still there is, no, it will be a little bit difficult because there is but the chart generation part as well, right? So we'll see how the things are going to happen. And meanwhile, have a nice weekend, people. So I'm going to end up the session by this point.
Thank you, sir.
So I hope you had a great day and a great lesson. So if you got any questions, you can throw to me now, right? So I can answer, or else you can put it on the WhatsApp group as well. So thank you very much, people. Thank you for the session, right? So thank you for coming. I'll meet you on the very same day by next week for the very same time, right? So have a nice weekend. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Bye, sir.
Thank you, sir.